Okay, I think we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage. I'm here for a very special, my guys want this one, a very special reading today where I am putting a lot of my own focus and my guides are saying devotion to the moment that we're in because of everything that's going on. So I wanted to spend some time with all the folks who may be here. And if you are here, say hello and let us know where you are chiming in from if you feel comfortable with that. So, okay, I'm getting a reminder. My guides are always telling me, do the commercial, because I forget. There's a link below for the special meditation session from 3 to 5 p.m. today, which is Friday, June 5th. We're going to literally go into the energy, the quantum energy, in order to weave the tapestry to, my guides have been saying, give grace into what has already occurred. Hang on, I just got to switch screen so I can see if you can see. There you go. This is part of what we're doing. We are going to be releasing the past. We're going to be giving thanks, and we are going to be spinning ourselves up. I'm getting an image of DNA, sort of the sacred, my guides are calling it a sacred swirl, joining all of our collective energies to feed in and join with the energy of the moment. So since my guides are talking about that, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to try to just do a lot of channeling today. So check the link below. The link for the readings is below. I would love to have anybody who wants to join us for this meditation to be there. Don't worry about it if you haven't taken part yet. Some of the folks who are from the Tapestry Weaving group that happens weekly will be there with us. We're going to spend a lot of time utilizing sacred vibration and then the energy of the void in stillness internally in order to send our energy out into the void of the moment, because something massive is shifting, as I believe everybody must know. All right, so my guides are saying, they're talking about let's jump in because they have a lot they want to say. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the oracle cards. I'm going to allow the guides to channel through. So what we're doing first is we're going to look into the energy set point that we're working with this day in particular, but for the next 6 months, as Pluto does the continuation of its work and all of the energies that are transforming and shifting and changing. So what my guides are talking about in these moments, they're talking a lot about the sacred void, the place out of which the light arrives. And they started talking with me about it before I went on my journey last October. So they're chattering about, I'm going to snip that off because it's an example, but it's a little irrelevant for today's discussion. So here we are. We are in, and now I'm feeling a lot of emotion, of course, and I know a lot of you are feeling a lot of emotion, just a massive amount of sadness. So what has transpired is that the energy that Cancer worked on, because Cancer and Capricorn, North Node, South Node. So my guides want us to begin to look at not just the astrology, but what they call the implications of the astrology, which means try to understand the deepest meaning and the allegory and the things that have happened and how they have been unfolding. So we had Cancer in the North Node, and we had a Scorpio eclipse on the 7th of May, full moon on the 7th of May. Then we went forward into this next moon cycle. And in this moon cycle, the things that have been in the deep, hidden, are rising up because of Scorpio's sacred energy. That's Scorpio's job, in part, is to help us all transfer our attention to what is hidden, to what is in the deep, in order to allow that to rise up to the surface for transformation. So that's the place we've been moving to, or through, my guides are saying through and into. Then we have the nodal axis shift that has happened into air sign energy. All the air signs are going to be affected for as long as the North Node is in Gemini. The energy now, the desire of the love energy vibration that Cancer worked on so diligently for all that time, while Capricorn was hosting Pluto and preparing for the crash of the structure that doesn't work anymore, because it is love energy that is moving us forward. Now, in a very appropriate way, the love energy, the baton, if you will, has been handed to the atmosphere in order that it spread. And we see that that is happening, that the heart-mind chakra, my guides call it, is cracked open now. And that information and that understanding and that desire has gone out, my guides are doing this, on the airwaves, on the atmosphere, the place where we all literally meet, because of the things that are described in my guides are calling it the field of quantum energy, quantum physics. The things that have been proven about how we actually literally vibrationally communicate in every moment. We have not brought our attention to that place yet because we have not been ready. But as the astrology helps us, and the fact that Schumann's resonance is going up and up and up, and the literal axis of the earth is in shift mode now, and we take the astrology forward, we're going to be in Aquarius. So in this moment, leading up to this moment, we have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Venus all in retrograde. In the moment when there is an eclipse, they go dark. They are going dark in order to bring forward human consciousness so that we can understand what it is to be in the dark and find our way into the light. So what is happening in these moments is exactly that. We have let ourselves into the darkness. And the first thing that happens when the planets start to go direct is that Venus will go station direct on the 25th of June. So, not too long from now, 3 weeks or so, the love energy will begin to take us in direct motion again. And over these next weeks, from now until the 5th of July, there actually will be 3 eclipses. I will be here on each event and we'll talk more deeply about the implications of that particular moment. So let's jump into it, gang. I'm going to pull... Oh, my guides are telling me to wait. Okay, so let's jump into the cards that came out, the things that I was literally just speaking about. There's the story, my guides are saying. Whale energy, the sacred salmon, Piscean heart-mind energy. So, like my guides were talking about, this is about things that rise up from the deep, like a whale does. And people, meaning us. That's why this is a sacred moment. We're talking about all of us. The folks who carry, my guides are saying, the shamanic energy of whale rise to the surface. They are often clairvoyant. They are often clairaudient. They can often hear, my guides are talking about microtones. They're talking about the meditation that's going to happen later today in just a couple of hours. Please join us. Link is below. And we will be working with the sacred vibration and the sacred microtones. Much of whale's song is not able to be heard. They travel not only in the deep of the water element, they communicate with a type of vibration that my guides are saying that we are not accustomed to yet, but it is our destiny rising to the future in these moments in order to meet the shift into the North Node of Gemini, the sacred twins, so that the Piscean energy in this place that is our destiny is meant to move forward. It's why my guide sent me out on my mission, to prepare me to be able to understand, utilize this energy, and work together with anyone who has an interest to train people about the vibration. So as you can see, I'm hesitating. my guides are saying, I fall prey to the vernacular, which means I have to hesitate. I have to sort of bite my tongue in order that the correct words come forward. Because, as you've heard me say, my guides always talk about it is not necessary to raise your vibration. What is necessary is to commit yourself to work with your vibration. That is your purpose. That's what they're talking about. So come forward. We see the vibration coming to the surface within you. We see then the desire to leap out into sacred Piscean type of energy. So whale people carry the history and the herstory, the Akashic records of humanity. If you think about it from an energetic perspective, and you look at how the retrogrades and the full moons and the eclipses come forward, I'm sorry, I'm seeing orbs of light on my ceiling in front of me. You can't see it. So just understand, this is a confirmation of the things that have been coming through for quite a while. So this is the moment. And I've had a lot of discussion or a lot of information coming through from my guides about the details of this moment that we find ourselves in. It does have everything to do with Pluto in Capricorn, because we are, in case you don't know, go and look at Pluto in Capricorn over time. I'll try to remember to put a link below. Basically, my guides are saying the easy story is each time that Pluto enters Capricorn, there is a massive revolution here on the earth of some form. So, you know, when Martin Luther came forward and the Reformation happened, that was Pluto in Capricorn. When the last time that Pluto was in Capricorn was, I think, 1762 to 1777. Fact check me, but basically that's correct. My guides are saying basically. So that is when the Revolutionary War happened. The desire to break free of the chains of tyranny in order to create something new that had never been conceived before. So people began migrating in that direction. Think how long people began migrating into the Americas before that moment arrived. So, you know, basically, there was a transition that took a long, long time, as we've been experiencing now since the inception point of this. My kids are calling it this place. They're talking about the United States. Now we return to Pluto and Capricorn. And just as is easily predictable, we seek the end of tyranny. We seek the bringing forward of the brilliant moment out of which this country was founded. And we seek to cut ourselves from the tyranny of injustice. Because when one makes that kind of a sacred vow, which is what we did as a collective of people, well, you know, let's face it, it was a collective of white men. That's what that was all about. And you've heard me talk about that a little bit in the past. But now the moment has arrived. And we have the ability to reach further into the destiny that was written into the Constitution. And of course, this affects everyone globally. We see the protests about George Floyd's murder all over the world. I was surprised. I suppose I shouldn't have been. I now understand, of course, it goes that deep, because the heart-mind chakra of people here in this place, meaning the earth, has been cracked open. That was the job that Cancer did. And when the opening occurred and we went into the deep to finish that cycle through a Scorpio full moon, we rose back up again to have our release and to cut ourselves from the shackles of the things that were incorrect when the country was formed. And we're talking about slavery and the literal lack of equal rights and, you know, the lack of awareness. I think I sometimes wish I could go back in time and listen in on some of the private conversations that happened, because my guides are saying those men, they knew how unjust the reality of the moment was as compared to the document. And I believe they made a sacred commitment It's why it's the way it is. It forces us to lurch forward. We've been doing it for 250 years. And now comes the moment when we are meant to transform those things, those situations, those conditions, my guides are saying, like this. It's time. It's such a sweet, poignant, painful, beautiful moment of destiny. And we get to rise into the atmosphere with our love energy. It's so beautiful to me. So my guides have been speaking with me, and you see the moon there? It's really beautiful, isn't it? Carrying the earth, the eagle medicine, carrying the earth forward into the upper atmosphere for this moment of release, so that we can be done with the things that were not able to be rectified in the time because of the conditions and the social construct, the mindset, all those things. So we come forward into this moment. It's painful, and it's really beautiful, and it's happening because it's just a shamanic moment, because the whale energy is rising forward now. Because of all the things I already said, I won't recount them. But the shaman's rattle is about shaking up the energy and allowing the energy to move in its own accord, my guides are saying, so that it can work with what is meant to be destined in the moment. So shake the rattle, folks. Please take a knee. Please go forward if you're in a place and you have the capacity to go and make yourself known. It's, as we know, it's going to be important to protect yourself, because the tyranny of the moment is fascism. It just is. Okay, it's interesting. My guides are talking about King George. I think they're talking about harkening back to, during the times of when the revolution came forward. Those folks who cannot provide enlightened leadership bring forward to our vision so that it cannot be escaped, the need for change. And if they are not able to shift and change with us, the energy of the moment will create the change. So this is from the journey of love. Look at that. Fire and ice, that's the moment that we're in. The ice is melting. The fires are raging. We stand and look into the destiny of the moment with our heart chakra, with our love energy, looking in toward the light. While the water element that you see represented here in the blue coloration, the fires of the moment, metaphorically, I'm not advocating that. Please do not do it. While these moments come forward, and the love energy that's been locked in our hearts, because of fear, because of not knowing the way. There's a long dissertation I could go into about the dominant class and social structure, all those things. You are all smart enough to understand and seek out how to educate yourself so you have the information that you need in order to go forward, and I encourage everyone to do it. There are a lot of resources. We all participate in structural racism, either by complicity and silence or by not being aware exactly about all the deeper, finer details so that we can request shift and change and be an effective part of that. So that's what this picture represents. My guides are talking about the way the ice begins to melt when the flames of passion rise. And that is what has happened with the water element. Coming into its moment of manifestation by morphing its form into gas and rising into the atmosphere, basically. So the things that do not serve us can fall away. In essence, it's a very simple truth, and it's a very complex shift and change that we experience, although on a on a sacred energetic level, it's actually very simple. We here in this place apparently need to have some struggle to mark the moment, my guides are saying. It's not totally necessary, but again, okay, hang on, they're talking to me. Pardon me. So that's the reflection of the moment. This moment of sacred convergence, when we travel on the water element, I don't know if you can tell, there's a boat in the foreground resting on the water. The water element has carried us literally forward to a new destination. And when we reach that destination and we leap out with our energy and our intention, that is, oh my guys are saying, it's kind of hardwired in us. We don't know, but we come to know in moments like this. And we've had many of them here in the United States and many moments like this across the world. So we arrive, we rise to the surface of our own consciousness and we leap out on the water element, Piscean energy, in order for sacred convergence. That's what this moment literally is. And we see these folks having arrived on the water element. They step back onto the land and they look and they walk into some deeper location. Can you see that they're walking into the sort of yellow-white circle of light in the background? It's really beautiful. Because the water element is in transformation in all the ways that I've been speaking about. When the water element goes through its molecular shift in order to turn into gas, what happens is the covalent bonds, chemically, they stretch. And when they stretch and they stretch and they stretch, and the gas reaches the atmosphere, the sky, some of the hydrogen, the elemental hydrogen, is released, even though the molecular structure itself, it's still H2O, but that's not the correct word, but the shape of the structure has changed, obviously. That's the process we're in. And then, lightning, thunder, shift, change, and a massive amount of power that we don't associate with the water element is released into the atmosphere. It's literally what's happening. And I love that it is happening with all these planets in retrograde. While they do what they're kind of sitting out. My guides have been telling me they're sitting out in order to allow humanity to review the past in the deepest way possible and come to its own brilliant moment about the structure that is needed to go forward. And we will come to this moment of simplicity, understanding. You see, taking flight. Isn't it beautiful? I really love it. All right, so my guides want to take a look. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. So here's one card sticking up from the middle of the deck. I'm going to start with this. And this is technically behind it as it shuffles to the top. So, courtship with sacred knowledge. 3 of Pentacles. We stand in the temple of our own existence. And my guides are confirming, because I'm getting really choked up. I'm feeling the energy at the heart center. We are taking it in, all of us, right now. Because our desire is to work together with the guides, the angels, the ascended masters, those folks who are benefactors, to literally build a temple, a sacred place for all of us to reside in. Thank you, Spirit. So that's the overall energy that my guides clearly want to speak about when you look at all the cards. I can't remember if I said it, but I will post a picture of the cards on the community tab when I'm done. Love this. This is us, gang. Look. Looking into the void. Utilizing the fire of the moment to create something new. We have reached a place of mastery now, because we've been dealing with this challenge that's baked in, and I guess I'm speaking about the United States. Clearly it's true about the entire world, but we have been working. That is 6 of Wands. It's the victory card when it comes to the love element. That's how most tarot readers read it. In this deck, we go a lot deeper. there's the male energy open now to shift and change. Having reached a place of mastery and victory, self-rule, about the way, the uses and the understandings of the water element, the love element here, and now able to work with the void. We see the fire. We see that someone is here blacksmithing, creating something very strong through an amalgamation process using fire. Metaphorically, that's what we're doing. My guys have been talking with me about the soul contract. They're telling me it's going to be really controversial. On this day, I'm not holding back. I'm just going for it. So the soul contract between George Floyd, and the person who caused his death. It is a moment so profound that most cannot comprehend the reason, the rationale that these two souls came here to fulfill. Was it murder? Absolutely. Was it horrifying? Yes. It's very interesting to me that one of those souls is on the other side and the other one is still here. So there are many hours of discussion, I'm sure, and I think the things that are unfolding it's destiny, really. And I don't need to break it down into something overly simplistic. But from a spiritual perspective, my kids are saying, the place that I live, I understand it. I am brokenhearted like everybody else. And I've spent much of my time, I think it's been 10 days. Today is 10 days. So again, if you think about the numerology, we're at a moment now on this full moon eclipse where we're at another new beginning. So that's what my guides want to speak about. Us. Creating a temple with the guides and the ascended masters. And inside that temple, we are going to create the new structure that's meant to come forward. And we're going to do it with passion, 6 of Wands, with fire energy, to bring forward, to free what is within us, bring it forward, use it to create a new structure coming forward. So the planets that are retrograde are going to start moving forward in September. So we are, in a sense, we're meant to be in this state of a little bit of suspended animation, if you will, for the next several months while we have the eclipse cycle that's coming forward. So it's tempting. I don't want to go too much further into the astrology, but please check the astrology while you're doing it. Think very deeply about the allegories of all the things. My guides are calling them constellation. The constellation of all the energies that are swirling, the way in which they're going retrograde, the order and the way in which they move forward when they go direct motion. And then where will we be when that happens? What will the astrology be in those moments? Goddess willing, I'll be here and we'll talk about it a bit. So I was talking about destiny. That's the star card. There we are. Just completely bonded now with the sacred heart mind of the universe. The Piscean idea of universal consciousness. Rooted in this deck that's called the Dreamer of Growth. So that is where we root ourselves now into our destiny, because the shift and change that's coming forward in this. Okay, my guys are continuing to talk about the destiny that was created when the Constitution was written and the country was founded because of the flaws. And so we are now able to bond with our destiny in a way that enables us to have sacred movement toward the destiny that the universe has for us. That's what this is about. It's a really beautiful moment. So we've been, okay, my guides want this. We've been through, sorry, Spirit, we've been through a lot of shift and change, obviously. A lot of tests, and there we are. This has been coming up kind of a lot. Those of you who are regulars on the channel, you know. This has been coming up. The warrior of knowledge. Pentacles. Slow movement. Many shifts and changes. A new moment coming forward. Doing battle with the beast. However you describe that. Okay, my guides are saying they're showing me a picture of a prism, and there's a kaleidoscope. They're showing me a picture of a kaleidoscope, and the way we look through it as an exercise of the prism, and you can turn those things and you see a lot of different shapes, a lot of different colors coming forward. That's the moment that we're in. While we're having all of these battles, and things have slowly been moving forward, slowly, in a way that's been very painful, for centuries. And it's going to continue. So, there's a young man who had to go out in the forest and do battle with the most terrifying beast that existed. And without getting into the fairy tale, he prevailed. But this is the first step. Hang on. Thank you, Spirit. So we are in the first steps of this destiny. And these battles with the beast, so to speak, that which is truly dangerous and very unwieldy, brings us forward into our destiny. So, my guides are talking about the eclipse cycle now. There's the next card. More fire energy. A full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. My guys are saying that's the prince. It's the Knight of Wands. Who stands in this deck? All the things we know about this guy, impulsive, passionate, rushing forward, that's the desire of the energy that we have going on in this moment. So we see this beautiful warrior standing firm in his place in the twilight, the mystery place, having this desire for purity and mystical, magical travel into a new destiny. And when the urge strikes him, he just gets on that horse and just fly. My guide's talking about flying through the universe toward the destination, because suddenly they see. That's humanity. That's us in the moment. And the very next thing that comes forward, this is what ties our collective soul journey. The beings who have made the commitment to arrive here for this sacred purpose. That's the magician. What is true about the magician, the reason he has magic, is because he's very activated at the will center. And it's really about the decisions that are able to be made. That's what creates the magic. That is what brings destiny forward. Do you see how activated he is? Again, male energy. It's really fabulous. More male energy moving this forward. Sacred male energy in the background. It's quite lovely, actually. So let's take a look at, there's a lot of cards jumping out, gang. So, all right, so that's, my guides call this the bridge card. So it ties the human experience that we've been talking about to the soul contract. Above, my guides are saying above. Part of it is because when you see the picture of the cards, if you're new, you'll understand. The soul contract in my readings is described in the top 3 cards that come out. So here's how it is on the table, just so you know. Destiny, magic. The magic of this beautiful, painful, reverent moment that we are all in when we finally see, because of something horrific that can no longer be ignored. We all wish, well, many of us wish, it didn't have to come to that. But it did. And it pushed us forward into our destiny after all of these battles. And it's a battle. And we all know there's no sugarcoating it. Well, there's a battle going on right now for the sacred heart mind of the nation. What will we choose? We will choose to have the adventure. And we're going to rush forward, and people are definitely doing it. That is what is the magic of the moment. So on a soul contract level, pardon me, here we are, the Moon card. In this moment, what we are all doing is imagining the rising up. You know what? So there's two things happening. The rising up of the Piscean age, the Piscean energy, by going deep into the water element. That's the thing that my guides were speaking about a few minutes ago. The imaginer of harmony. You can dive deep into the energy, the sacred wave form of the water element in all the ways described here on this channel, my guides are saying. Or you can get in the boat and ride on the surface to any destination that brings forward harmony that you can imagine. So for the remainder of this day, and know that, full moons, especially eclipse, carrying us forward for 6 months. And we've got 3 coming. It's going to carry us forward right through to the election. Go out and vote. Make a commitment to go and drive people to the polls, or to help people. My guys are talking about registering to vote. Things like, there's what they're saying is all the things that the activists do. That is a sacred act in days like this. So as we come through these days, they're talking about the remainder 6 months. Remind yourself, be totally aware. Do your best not to rest yourself in rage. There is a lot of rage being felt. I feel it. Outrage, sorrow. The rage that comes from sorrow is deep and it's wide, and it can carry us away into things that do not serve us. So remember our destiny. Our destiny is on a soul level to be able to reach harmony, the thing that was imagined when the Constitution was written. And so what have we been stuck to all this time? 8 of Cups. When this destiny comes forward, and you keep your focus, and my guys are talking about the third eye, you keep your sacred focus on that which you can imagine, that is what brings us into a moment of release. These are people stuck to a bowl in the storyline of this card. They found a treasure. They wanted to plunder the bowl that holds all the, the gold and the rubies, and my guys are showing me pictures of, jewelry and chalices and massive amount of wealth. And the minute they stepped up there to plunder it, they got stuck to it. So there's a conversation going on now about that which evolved. Okay, my guys are saying out of that which was present. And what they're talking about is what was the social condition, the slave trade that was going on here when the Constitution was being written. It's a travesty in a way that is profound. And we've all known. And we've been stuck to the travesty of the situation. And, again, through all these battles and all these incremental shifts, little by little, we come forward into the place of harmony that was imagined. We didn't imagine the type of harmony that we were imagining. My guides are saying. Some did. They're talking to me now about John Adams. So if you don't know about the journey of John Adams, go look at that. There's a movie actually that was made about his progress. So we're going to free ourselves from that now. It really is a mystical moment. It's a very... Okay, my guys are saying words like reverent and holy and etc. So that's the inflection point that we're at. And the desire, the harmony we want is this. This is what we want to see. I don't have to tell you what this is all about. You can tell what it's all about. Through the fire of the moment, we will bond ourselves. There's an alchemical process going on. Temperance through the fire element. A full moon eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius that happens to be in the south node in order to help us release our destiny into its intended destination. And we bond ourselves together This couple turns into swans, and they rise through the chimney. They're standing actually in a fireplace. They rise up through the smoke hole, and they turn to swans, and they fly away. Yeah, so my guide, there's a lot of energy coming in through my heart chakra. So my guides are saying, yeah, please understand, in the deepest, most sacred of places within you that understands the sacred, that's what's happening. So when you go to your protest, or when you write your letters, or when you post on Facebook or whatever, post about this. All right? Feed into this energy whenever you can. And when you realize you have fed your energy into some other place, just go back and delete the posts and replace them with things about this. That's part of what it is to work with the energy that exists. Into what place are you going to give your sacred energy? Because you are your purpose, and it's your energy standing in this place that brings this forward. Thank you, Spirit. And look, I love this. Thank you, Spirit, so much. Whew, the courtship of heart, the loving courtship. That's what we are bound for. So this is a story about a couple they were betrothed. They were trying to get married. There was somebody who had evil intention, was doing their best to keep them apart. So I'm not going to sink into politics at the moment, but you can all have your imagination about what that means, given the things that are coming forward. It's a celebration. That person is in that bag, tied up with a little bow, hung on a hook. We're going to be taking care of this problem. I assure you, it's going to be okay. It might be messy. It might be painful. My guides are saying, more people will be sacrificing themselves. As we all know, there is a way to meet the challenge. And my guides really want to speak about it. I've been holding it back. I will finish the reading and then we'll go into that. All right, so there's one more card, and we're going to pick a rune. There we go, look. The Devil card. That is the challenger of will. And the transition, I just want you to see the transition from the human experience of the moment, the destiny that's coming forward. It's like this. This is on either end. These are the bookends for the middle line, the middle row in the reading. That's really sort of the core of the reading. The rest of the reading that comes out are the descriptors. So there's the bookend. The decider of will and the challenger of will. That's where we're at. That's how we make the shift and change. So we see the sacred god of the forest, of the Celtic people. I'm not going to go into that, but there's a story about the difference in cultural set point and understanding about what these things mean. And what is happening, the magic in the mix. Do you see that the energy, the decider of will, is being handed to the challenger of will? Through the mechanism that the reading is describing, my guides are saying. Both are major arcana cards. A lot of energy, a massive amount of energy bookending this reading. So the Devil card in this deck is about the process, the mystical process that comes forward because we have the power of will. Suddenly, in a moment, my guides are talking about the finger of Jupiter, all the things that are associated with the sacred magician. Again, male energy driving this process forward on the sea, in the boat, if you will, of the sacred feminine. Taking the energy and moving it forward to its destination. And what's happening in this card is it's the soul, one by one, facing and releasing its fears. And in these moments, easy to make a connection about all the souls who have given their lives, who have come to this place to give their lives into this process. At this point, what we're all doing is giving our heart chakra into it. So my guides are saying, do not fear the painful things that are coming forward. They're happening for a reason. And those of us that are able to transition are being spurred into the transition by those of us that are not able. And so again, there's a sacred bond. Please do your best. It's a challenge for me. I got Aries rising, so I get all cranky about these things, but I've been in the last days very awash in the sacred destiny of the moment and the poignancy, yes, the sad reality of how it's coming forward. But again, it's our destiny. One by one, the soul releasing its fears. All the collective souls that have been here on either side of the equation. So I just want to show you what's on the bottom of the deck. We'll pick a rune. I'll make a pause and I'll come over, and it's 1:46, so we'll talk in the chat room. If you have any questions, load them up. So there we go. The augury of battle. Ace of Swords. It's the best possible outcome. Total clarity. Total transformation. A brilliant moment when the hand of destiny comes straight out through the atmosphere in a mystical way and says, here, it is the clarity that you've earned. It's the clarity that you need about this, sorry, I'm going the wrong way, sacred prophecy. So for those of you that don't know, an augury is a prophecy, a new beginning, a new inflection point, which is what my guides have been saying. So that man, the male energy, completely transformed into the mystical realm because of a moment of brilliance. The story behind this card is that it is initiated in the season of winter. So this has been coming forward since the turn of the year when my guys started talking about do your best to stay in the eye of the storm. This is a descriptor of what that means. And to give yourself sacred permission to act from they keep saying the word holy today, the most holy, the most sacred place within you. Because very clearly, those folks who have come forward to teach us about nonviolence were mystical teachers. They arrived here in these moments for us in order to help us understand how it is to best turn the energy toward victory. So that's a sacred sort of victory in this deck. And, you know, we knew when we came into 2020 that this is how the year was going to be. And now we're in it. We didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, but if you looked at the astrology, you knew a lot about how intense it was going to be. So here we are. Are we going to choose tyranny, or are we going to choose freedom? Hang on, my guides are talking. They want me to show something to you. So we're going to choose freedom. We are going to release ourselves from this journey that we've been on so we can start again. Because if you understand the astrology, and if you don't, go look, click on one of the links below, send me a message, we'll do a reading. I will be doing more of these, so I just want to show you. I mean, I could keep pulling the cards, but there they are. Queen of Art, Queen of Cups. She sits with the sacred fire of creation. She's highly creative. So we see the Moon card here, and then one other card about the sacred feminine. And each one is about shift and change, mystical change. She sits enshrined in the triple spiral. Birth, life, death, rebirth. We've been coming forward through this journey for so many eons, and now my guys I'm remembering something. I had a download about this. I can't remember. I think it was last year before I went out on my journey. And this is what I was seeing. I was seeing all the souls who have ever been to this place and or been through and returned, falling through destiny, falling through time. My guys are talking about the time warp. So they're talking about the way time is not linear, and I'm not going to go into that discussion, but things like that. The way our destiny happens in so many ways and so many shapes and so many forms throughout. And they're talking about Einstein. So they're talking about physics now, right? So go look up linear time versus interdimensional time. It's that kind of a moment. We have more people on this planet than has ever happened throughout the story of this place that we inhabit. So many souls here to bring forward this destiny. So last card, actually there's two more. You know what? And then I'm done. My guides want me to show them to you. Look. Partly this is about the difference. So we see the Tower card, and then we see the World card, the Perfecter of Energy, and the Changer of Truth, the Changer of Truth. So the things we knew to be true, which is aligned a lot with Sagittarius. That's about sacred knowledge, sacred teaching, traveling, the sacred traveler. Those things now delivered into the South Node so that we can let them go and change our truth. That's why Sagittarius is in the South Node now for 18 months. And through that process, the sacred changer of truth, which brings us forward into this destination, Piscean consciousness. Do you see the triple spiral again? Kundalini awakening. See it? At the root chakra, through the heart center, through the quadrants of the year. So the year coming forward from this moment into a year from now. Massive uptake of sacred knowledge. That's what the petals are about. And we see the swastika properly utilized and properly displayed. It is about the sacred turning. My guides are talking about the enlightenment. So if you don't know about the swastika, it has nothing to do with the Nazis. They used it. They turned it backwards. It's part of why they failed, because they tried to use a very precious, very highly ordered spiritual symbol to help them win. Go look on the internet. There's a ton of stuff. Okay? So that's where we're going. We're going to release our fears, change our truth. Thank you, Spirit. And perfect our energy. A brand new beginning. Of course, because we're in an eclipse. So thank you, Spirit. So my guides, obviously they're talking about, they want you to take up these thoughts, these notions, these desires. Trust yourself. Trust that your desire for change is destiny. It's ordered by destiny. So, Spirit, can you give us one more notion, please, about this beautiful destiny coming forward? What is it that we are meant to understand to give us strength in these moments of difficulty where destiny is unfolding through a process of fire and ice? Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, look. Okay, that is the rune for the shamanic order. It has to do with protection. So I'm going to read it to you, but if you look at it closely, it looks like a person with their arms up, euphemistically so, symbology in a sense. It's also meant to represent the horns of the elk, the creature that has the ability, the stamina for a very long journey. So that is Elgies. I'll read it to you from the book. Hang on, guys and girls. It is on page 111, just so you know. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, this is about protection. Sedge grass, rushes, and the elk. So in these moments, our protection is control of emotions. That is what is at issue here. During times of transition and shifts in life course and accelerated change, self-change, it is important not to collapse yourself into your emotions. That's what brings forward violence. I know how hard it is as an Aries rising person. Believe me, I know. My guides are saying, breathe deep. Focus on the destination and we'll get there. So do not collapse yourself into your emotions, the highs or the lows. New opportunities and challenges are typical of this energy when this rune is chosen. With these energies, these challenges, these opportunities, may come trespasses and unwanted influences. Elgies serves as the mirror for the spiritual warrior, the one whose battle is always with the self. The warrior's protection is like the curved horns of the elk, or the warning rustle of sedge grass, because both serve to keep open space around you. So interpret that in all the ways that are relevant to this moment, okay? Very much so. Remain mindful that timely and right action and correct conduct are your only true protection. If you find yourself feeling pain, observe the pain. Stay with it. Do not try in these moments to pull down the veil and escape from life by denying what is happening. You will progress, and knowing that this progression is assured will be your protection. So, gang, thanks for being here. Just a reminder, there is the meditation coming forward at 3 p.m. for 2 hours. I don't know if you can see behind me, we're going to use that sacred instrument, and we're going to work with sacred vibration, sound vibration for healing. We're going to go deeply into the energy of this exact moment, all the things I just talked about. So I'd love to have you join us. The link is below. Please my guides have been talking with me. I actually posted a picture on my channel and also on my Facebook page about they're calling them the sacred sages of our age. So that would be Dr. King and Mahatma Gandhi and like persons. They just said Dorothy Day. Interesting. I like that. Thank you, Spirit. Those folks who are spiritual warriors. So when you go to a protest or when you post on your page, when you have a conversation with your family, there are a lot of conversations going on in my family about all these issues. And what is the desire has come to the surface is we don't want to fight with each other. We want to find a way forward to loving each other better in a way that is loving and accepting and kind. So that's the mission that we're on, and I invite everybody to join yourself, your sacred self. Join yourself and remain in that energy. Even when the moment comes, and there I think will be many, that we will feel rage, justifiable rage. So what did those sacred individuals do with their rage? They used it, thank you, Spirit, they used it as energy to light the way forward. And when we see all the ways in which fire energy has come out in this reading, we understand what to do with our rage. Thank you, Spirit. I'm very happy that came forward. So create something new. Protect yourself. Keep sacred space around you. One of the things my guides have been talking about is knowing how to work with the energy to move it forward without confusion. They're saying confusion. So part of what's been sort of bubbling to the surface for me is that although I understand the desire and the need for people to be in the street, I think to go forward without resistance is probably a good thing. So the states and the municipalities are, my guides are saying, inserting into the situation, they are inserting curfew. So an hour before the curfew becomes absolute, my guides are saying absolute, make your way home. Don't be available to push back. That creates negative energy and violence. And make it clear to everybody that the peaceful protesters, they go home at night. So that the looters and the agitators that are creating false narrative will stand out. My guides are saying, and they can be swept up. And then have rest, be safe, feed yourself, be with your family, celebrate. My guides are saying celebrate your actions, and then in the morning get up and go back. It doesn't guarantee a lack of violence against you, but it brings the order in. Okay, my guides are saying, hang on. They're saying it brings the order of the reality of events into clarity, and that is part of what's going to move forward. So that's what they're talking about with this rune. keep some space around you. Be in the space that's clear. And like the things that Dr. King and Gandhi experienced, it doesn't guarantee a lack of violence from the dominant power structure. We know that. So please get into the proper construct while we participate. So focus on love energy, focus on the coming forward of harmony, which is our destiny. That's written into our sacred contract. My guides are saying they're talking about the Constitution again. But also, no matter where you are, the sacred contract that we all have, that's why we're here, to bring this destiny forward. So thank you very much for being here. Let's see. Oh, it's just 2 o'clock. So I'm going to make a pause, and we'll go forward into the chat room. Those of you who have to move on with your day, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. All right, gang, I'm coming back over to YouTube. Hi, Juanita. Priscilla is here. Hey, Dana, hi. Mark, I'm so glad you're here. Hang on, I'm trying to, you know what, I don't have my glasses on. Bernie, hi. TD is saying, what's happening in America to the black community is sad. Yeah, it is. And these atrocities have been going on since my guides are talking about since the early days of structure, meaning when government began to form. Because we came to that experience from a tribal experience. It's the way we've evolved. And it is sad, and it is horrific, and so my guides are talking more about the sacred partnership we have. The people who resist change because their energy is meant to seek domination. Interesting, the words of our president, isn't it? Just you have to dominate. Well, honey, no, babe. No, sweetie. No, honey, that's not going to do it. Right? It never does. So the desire for domination always falls. It can take hundreds of years, as is the case here in the United States when it comes to this particular issue. Absolutely. It creates a situation in which a soul demands to be free. And that's what we've been seeing over the course of our lifetime. And so what that means is our experience. They're talking about the lifetime of the United States and other places. So, Mark, I just would love to hear from you about, first of all, are you working today? Do you have to head out to work? And how has it been? Mark is in New York City. I'm curious about what's going on there and all the places where you folks are. Priscilla, where are you? And TD, where are you coming from? If you don't mind saying, you don't have to. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you. So, just so you know, if you respond back, it takes, I think a full minute for your message to pop up on the screen so that I can see it. And I have it set that way so that I don't get overwhelmed reading messages. So gang, I'm going to prepare. I'm going to go and prepare for the meditation that's coming forward at 3 o'clock. I hope to see you all there if possible. I don't see any messages coming through. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. My guides keep showing me images of... they're talking about, be like a monk, be like Gandhi, be like Dr. King. To the best of your ability, be in the calm, sacred place within you while you walk into the storm, the fire that's literally bringing transformation. If you feel called to do that, do it in the sacred way. And my hope, here, one other thing. My guides there's some kind of mass protest, I believe, being organized. It's going to be the very end of August. So I don't have any details about that yet. I just believe that it's happening. And so keep your eye out for that. What I've been thinking is really, that's what I'd like to see, a massive gathering of souls in Washington on the Mall. Sort of, my guides are saying, the traditional way. Just quiet, singing, hymns, chanting, praying. In a very powerful way that looks docile, but it is the most intense power that can be exerted. So I think when the current moment comes to a little bit more calmness, then we can, okay, they're talking all about the election. You know, in the moments before the national election, it's time to go to the National Mall, and I will be there. If something like that actually is arranged, I will be there, and I will have my shield and my face mask and my gas mask and all the things that I'm going to need, and I will do my best not to be perceived or to show any potential perceived aggression. That's what they're talking about. Thank you, Spirit. So, gang, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to head out, and I'll see hopefully some of you in the meditation at 3 o'clock. Bye now. Have a lovely day. Do some walking meditation into this sacred energy so that we can release ourselves from the past. And when tomorrow comes, we begin to walk forward into our destiny. My guides are saying yes. So there's, you know, what's happening is my heart chakra is swelling in a way that's really huge when I say the words. So, gang, I'll look forward to seeing you. There will be a live stream on every eclipse. So there's another one coming 2 weeks from now, a solar eclipse, huge. And we'll talk about that. All right, be safe, be well, be in the sacred mind. Do not be in your rage place if you can. Thanks, everyone.